Okay, welcome to Playback. My name is Nate.
My name is Brandon.
And today on the show, we have a very special guest who is near and dear to our hearts. He is the head of Escape Hatch Records. He's the label boss. He is also the main creative force and saxophone player, lead singer, songwriter extraordinaire of Smoke and Mirrors Sound System and Unsteady and a myriad of other amazing bands and projects. Mr. John Roy is here today. John,
That's
welcome,
right.
Welcome to the show, John.
Thanks for having me. I will try and only speak when spoken to.
Please don't.
Jump on in.
You are much more interesting than us.
I will yes or no. That's it.
Perfect podcast guest. Today, Brandon has chosen a really cool record that is actually going to close out. It's our final album of Reggae Summer, album 6 of 6 of Reggae Summer. Once again, I think just to kind of not bury the lead here, it's another album I think could probably lay claim to like one of the greatest things I've ever heard in my life. I'm really glad you picked this. You picked the album 96 Degrees in the Shade by Third World.
Yes.
Brandon, tell us all about 96 Degrees in the Shade by Third World. Why did you pick it? What is it?
Yes. Okay. So this is Third World's second album from 1977. I wanted to include it in our 6 albums that we're doing to try our best to encapsulate the full breadth of roots reggae, because to me, this album is super, super unique. I'd started listening to Jamaican music when I was a teenager, and to, listen to it pretty much nonstop once I got into it. And to my American ears, I slowly started to get accustomed to this new sort of Jamaican style of what the recordings sound like. Not only technically, the murkiness that we talk about, and the various states of being very pristine or being in a great state of disrepair that these recordings can be in, and really getting used to that, and not only that, but also the how the musicianship is different than what I was used to from all the American and British music that I grew up listening to. And then I encounter this album, 96 Degrees in the Shade, and I listen to it. I'm like, wait a second, what is this? I have to look at front and back. Wait, what is this? Is from Jamaica? Wait a second. Wait, this is from the 70s? What? It's like an outlier.
Yeah.
And like I've told you, Nate, a bunch of times to try my best to get you really excited about this record is the way that I've always understood it is this is sort of like the dark side of the moon of Jamaica.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that you definitely hooked me with that.
Yeah.
It was the only thing I could think about while listening to it.
And we'll get into it more, but Third World themselves as a band, they're a band with many eras. They are a band with one of the most amounts of longevity of any Jamaican band. They're still playing to this day.
They're still around, right?
And so throughout the years, there's been many versions. They've had many sounds, but during this portion of time, I don't know. They were just they were the Pink Floyd of Jamaica, or they were like the Steely Dan of Jamaica, or something like that.
Yeah, it's like proggy. It's like prog. I in my brain, I was, while listening to it, without reading about it, I was just like, oh my God, this is like prog reggae. They describe it as reggae fusion, which actually I think is probably more appropriate. It's more a mixing of styles rather than some kind of crazy, experimental prog type thing. But yeah, it's you're so right in like how unique this is. It sounds, the music in this is so complex. It's more akin to like kind of, it's more on the spectrum of like the Wailers stuff. I would compare it to that. And also like in the mix too is really interesting because it doesn't use dub really to kind of achieve a lot of like the kind of strange kind of mysticalness. It kind of relies on the music itself to like be evocative of those kind of feelings.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. There's like a couple delay throws here and there, but right. All of the spaces and the textures of where it goes, it's all not music. It's not in the mix.
Yeah.
Like how it normally is in a lot of Jamaican records. No, it's in the arrangement. It's in the composition. It's in, so
let me keep in your mind 1977 Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, where was he at in 77?
Keep in mind 1977
well, he was
Earth, Wind and Fire.
We're Third World and Stevie Wonder were kind of homies at this time too, right? Didn't they play together or something like that? Like, cause yeah, I think Stevie Wonder, he's like a perfect encapsulation, or he's like almost more so than like Floyd or something. It's like, this is kind of Jamaican Stevie Wonder in a lot of ways. Like,
and now check out how old I am. I was born in 1971. So when I was 6 years old, I was listening to Earth, Wind and Fire and Stevie Wonder. I hadn't heard Third World until 1983, but to me it was like just as fresh. Like, oh wow, I'm listening to another album within this family of stuff I want to hear.
It's funny, I have this copy and I don't even remember when I bought it, but I know for a fact it was on Brandon's recommendation. So it was like I've only been listening to this for the last couple years, if that. And like, really, I think I listened to it once when I bought it. And then it was like, this week I've listened to it like, I don't know, 7 times. Like it's mostly for research purposes, but also it is very, very good. It's easy to listen to.
Well, I have to give a shout out. Her 83rd birthday was Sunday. Makeda Cheatham, Makeda Dread. She was the person on Reggae Makossa radio show on 91X. That 91X started as a station in 1983. And I think that's right when she also started her Sunday night show. So this white kid from the suburbs of San Diego got to hear stuff straight from Jamaica in 1983. After hearing stuff that my sister had brought home for the two-tone era stuff. So I got to hear like Dance Craze, Madness, Specials, English Beat. I also got to hear The Clash. Luckily, my sister's 7 years older than me, so I got to hear all that. But directly from the radio, I got to hear Makeda's show, and she was just pumping all this stuff into our brains on the airwaves in San Diego for like 3 hours on a Sunday night, and I couldn't miss it.
Yeah,
every Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, San Diego is. I remember. Maybe, man, at this point, it's probably like 10 or 15 years ago, something like that. I started playing bass in a band called Ryan Basilio and the Roosters.
Great band.
And Ryan Basilio, the lead singer and songwriters, had just moved to LA from San Diego. And so, a lot of his relationships, a lot of his contacts and everything were down in San Diego. And so we used to play in San Diego more often than we played in LA. And it was, and I learned slowly over that time, it was for more than one reason. First of all, because that's where all of Ryan's homies were. Second of all, because that's where there's a huge Polynesian community, and Polynesians love reggae in San Diego. But then third most, I realized like San Diego is like the only place that I've ever encountered on the mainland America where reggae is like the most popular style of music, where it just plays on the radio all day. There's just reggae radio stations, you know? I'd never encountered anything like that.
That's what locals listen to down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Like in LA and every other part of California that I've ever lived in, you know, you tell someone, oh yeah, I play reggae. And they go, whoa, that's interesting. Wow. Okay. But in San Diego, you're like, yeah, I play reggae. They're like, cool.
Yeah. It's like a job down there.
Okay.
It's a real job.
So you play music.
What kind of reggae?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be more specific. Yeah.
It's almost like that Civil War meme. Like, oh, you play reggae? What kind of reggae do you play?
Oh, yeah. Jesse Plemons in Civil War. What kind of reggae
do you
musician are you? Yeah.
Oh, man. That's great. All right. So, yeah, we're gonna get into all that stuff and also probably touch on one of the main things this album is probably most known for is its referencing of the Morant Bay Rebellion and Paul Bogle, which I am definitely no expert on, but I think between the three of us, we'll be able to get through the events of what that is and I'll give dear listener their slice of Jamaican history for this particular episode, as we've tried to do with all these episodes.
Yes. The title track, the 1865, 96 Degrees in the Shade. The song is about a very, very significant moment in Jamaican history. And we'll do our best to give a little crash course, a little dip our toe into history.
Yes.
As per usual, any regular listener of the show will know we are not very good at being experts on anything. We can point you to where you can learn more and give you the basics, but yeah, we will talk about it.
We'll send you to the YouTube videos that we watched that are better at talking about it than us.
Yeah. This is like an album that is instantly, apparently unique. Once you have gotten yourself accustomed to what Jamaican music from the 70s sounds like, then you listen to this and it stands out like I don't want to say like a sore thumb. I feel like that's like a negative connotation. Not in a negative way at all.
Yeah.
In a very delightful way. It's very unique.
Tell me what you guys think about this, just to jump off just to completely interrupt your train of thought, as I normally do on the show.
Yeah, you're good at it. I'm used to it. It's all right.
I feel like you're totally correct that this album is uniquely different musically from especially anything we've done so far. Maybe save for like Exodus. I do hear a little like musical similarities with like Exodus. It's more on that end of the spectrum, I would say. But my takeaway listening to this was like, this album has more in common with just like 70s pop than like Jamaican, the more like traditional Jamaican styles that were prevalent on the island. Like it's almost like they took like reggae music and just used it as like a jumping off point. Like it's like, yes, we're gonna build the foundation of this house on with reggae, but like the walls, the foundation, like the walls, the air ducts, the roof, that's gonna be R&B, that's gonna be funk, that's gonna be, like it's gonna be different stuff.
Here's the way that I understand it, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this, John, as you were there. But like, you got to think about like what is happening in the wider English speaking world musically in the mid to late 70s, right? So it seems to me that at this time there was like a big kind of fork in the road, and some music went left and some music went right. And on one side you have what I will call like homemade music. This is like punk. This is like reggae, things like that. And on the other side is what I'll call like music school music, right? Because at this time, not only is there this music that any civilian who can get his hands on a guitar can play, it's also this is when things like Boston and Steely Dan and Led Zeppelin and things are and Pink Floyd, like music, Supertramp is about to happen. So
it's like music with a big budget behind it.
Well, there's music that you can buy a record and play it at home and love it and enjoy it. And unless you're going to go to effing college for 6 to 8 years and study music, you stand no chance of playing music that sounds like this.
Or like understanding it. Yeah.
Or even understanding what these guys are playing. Exactly. Yeah. There's like Genesis and like, they're super highly educated, what I'm calling music school music.
It's like music for music. It's like music made for musicians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, it had huge appeal because also in music school music, disco is also in there. ABBA is in there. Bee Gees is also in there. That's music school music. That's like the musical concepts that are in there. The average dude in a garage with a guitar can't play that shit, right? It's super refined, but and so that is what makes reggae what it is, because reggae is something that really belongs in that other side of the homemade music thing, right? This is music, and that's like the appeal of reggae, and why I feel that it fits and has like a sister relationship with punk, because there's this other simultaneous broader movement within the art form of music where it is in fact homemade, like it is connected to the earth. Like nobody involved here went to college for this shit. Nobody here took 8 years out of his life to study the masters before recording this. You know what I mean? And so that's what makes this album an outlier, because Third World, the guys involved, these are people who did have that kind of an education. And we'll get into this more when we talk about the guys themselves. This is one of the things that's so fascinating about this band and this record, is that this is one of the only examples, very few examples of roots reggae music that's made in the heyday of roots reggae that is made by guys who do not come from poverty. And we'll get into it. These guys are freaking very privileged individuals.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point you're making, actually. Yeah, because it's like, it is like rough and tumble, like kind of from the streets style of music, but made by, it's like almost like it's almost like the Strokes. Like how the Strokes were all rich kids, but were basically trying to make a punk band record or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is like the Strokes of Jamaica, kind of.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah.
I think if you take it as though you're just listening to it, you don't know who made it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're listening to it and you don't know who made it, you would think that these people, these musicians are musicians. They're skilled. They have time and effort behind it. They took time to record it. It sounds as though it was recorded and produced by engineers in a real studio, not even knowing where it was recorded. But it's like, man, this could have been on a session on an alternate day from Steely Dan.
Right.
Totally.
It has that feel also, that when you listen, check this out in your mind. When you hear keyboard solos, and there's multiple keyboard solos on a single album, and there's multiple keyboards being used, what other bands in the 70s did things like that? And I'm not talking about 4 bars a keyboard line. I'm not talking about 8 bars. I'm talking about no, we're going all over the place with this, right? This isn't a scale. This isn't just a lead line, which I love. I'm all about hooks, but this is like, and I won't say it's meandering. It's more of a like, okay, I'm going to stretch out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song forms on this entire thing are like one of my favorite things about it, and maybe this is Brandon's fault for putting Dark Side of the Moon in my brain, but I couldn't help but compare it to that, and I'm glad I was able to think of it in that context, honestly. But it's like the song forms and the arrangements are such on this that like they don't literally bleed into each other. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, like song to song. But like it really feels like one big piece in a way. It feels like a concept album, but I don't think this really is. But it's like a compositional, like what's the word I just said?
Concept album.
Concept album. Yeah. It's like a compositionally conceptual album. Like
it's structured like a concept album,
yes.
even though it does it. You know, it's not like The Wall where it's basically a movie script. It's not like that. But
yeah.
But if you think about it, if you were, let's just say you were going to put one thing next to another thing and they weren't within the same genre, could you hear Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely, but also hear Human Marketplace together on a playlist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do many of the same things.
I could just hear Stevie Wonder as like a member of this band.
Yeah.
Just being one of the singers and playing keys. Like he would fit right in.
They first met and hung out with him the year before this album came out. And after this album came out, they collaborated with him and wrote a song and released one of their biggest hits with him.
And they did the Smile Jamaica concert. They were one of the bands. And I think wasn't Steve or no, maybe it was a later concert that they did with Stevie. I can't remember, but
I feel like they were bringing in aspects of what you find in American and British music, which so a lot of people started doing that later on in Jamaica, like in the 80s. But this is happening in 77.
Like Steel Pulse after this almost.
Right. So it sounds so similar to reggae bands that are from England, like Steel Pulse and Oswald and stuff like that, but earlier, right?
It was shocking to me that this was recorded in 76. It feels super ahead of its time. It doesn't feel and again they're playing that style of reggae that just feels more like complex. You're not getting like the richness of the music from the simplicity like a Flabba Holt type of composition. It's more of a Family Man type of thing where it's like every section is like a new movement, a new piece, and it's different and it's all over the place. And like, and that's where you get like the depth of the music.
Yes. You listen to the bass parts on here. Every note is orchestrated. It's more like listening to a bass part on like an Elton John record than it is like listening to anything that Flabba Holt played.
Totally.
Know?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, and like John, like how you were saying, they incorporate all these things that are found in American and British music in the 70s, like solos and not just a section of where the keyboard or the guitar or whoever is playing just a featured melody and then we move on. No, it is it's like a rock god solo.
Totally.
Cat Core, the guitar player, he's bringing in that like Santana, Jimmy Page thing,
Dude, it's like it's like Bowie. It's like his like flanger phaser guitar solos on this are like it's like Mick Ronson. Like he's doing fucking Bowie like glam guitar solos. It's like amazing. Or like at least the tones are. Like
that's why I put Earth, Wind and Fire on my on that, and the Isley Brothers at the time.
Yes. Isley Brothers
like
guitar
those tones like drive me crazy. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Totally.
It's like a sweet mosquito getting into your ear.
Totally.
That guitar solo. Yeah.
It's wax paper on a comb.
Yeah.
And there's and the instrumentation with which they're taking these solos. So
Yeah.
there's at least 3 different synthesizers
Yes.
that he solos with.
Dude,
There's a vibraphone solo.
Is it a vibraphone or is it a marimba?
I don't know.
To me,
honestly,
it sounds
maybe it's a marimba solo.
I wrote down marimba.
Wood or do we hear metal? That's all we need to know.
Exactly.
I know. Yeah, it's hard to say.
In Human
though.
Marketplace, the famous nylon string guitar solo
Yes.
in 96 Degrees. Okay. And
like
yeah.
a judicious use of melodica in like a very different way than like a Augustus Pablo would do it, right? Augustus Pablo, brilliant melodica player, but he's very like jazzy with it. It's just very kind of meandering kind of melodica stuff. This is like they'll like double melodica parts and they'll use the melodica as like a real instrument to like thicken up the arrangements and like to be parts on this thing, like, which is so cool because yeah, your point. I literally wrote this down. All the weird instrumentation on this that they just like seamlessly kind of like weave into this Jamaican tapestry that it is like the bedrock of the album.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the melodica and everything too, because that's one of the details that speaks to one of the things that, okay, everything that we've already talked about is already reason enough for me to love this record, but what really seals the deal and what really makes it one of my favorite records of all time, and this is the thing that made me want to include it in our 6 records for Reggae Summer, is that they could so easily have colored outside the lines of roots reggae and expanded upon it, and especially since their background, their personal background, that they don't come from the ghetto, that they could have like in some way not kept it real, not really kept it in touch with the real roots, the real Rasta core of the rest of this musical movement. But that's that next level, third dimension of amazingness of this album. Is it is no less Rasta than any other album that was made at the time. Like, they successfully keep the same heart, the same blood that is in the veins of choose any other.
And yet
they
do get shit from a lot of reggae purists for being like a fusion project. Like, so
this is interesting. I really feel that the name of reggae fusion, I feel that this is something that is much more of an apt descriptor of Third World when you include their later work that they did after this, right? Because this is their second album.
Yeah.
And literally starting in the third one, the very next one, began a real process of change to where they're now making songs that are straight up not reggae songs at all. Right? The next album after this has their cover of Now That We Found Love, which is probably their most famous song, or well, either that or 96 Degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And that is fully not a reggae song, at least in the way that they perform it, right? And so after that point, and then for decades after that, for the lion's share of their career, they're making records where the songs are like American style music with a reggae flavor involved. But I feel that 96 Degrees itself, just this album, I don't really feel that it deserves that name. I think song by song by song, this is like this is roots reggae. Like,
I don't know. I hear
you hear it.
I hear because I didn't listen to any other Third World for this. I didn't have time to. I only listened to this one. I've never heard any other Third World. I've only listened to this one. I will. I'm excited to check it out. I'm excited to check it out, but I never have.
Yes.
But I totally hear it. To me, this sounds like they're starting with like this dough that is 100% roots reggae, right? And this is a reggae album. It is. But there's so much on this. Like so many of the drum beats are like they're not. They're not. Some of them are like a one drop or whatever, something more traditional, but a lot of them are just not. Like they're weird. Like it's just whatever. There's no name for it.
Yeah.
It's just they
He's
came up with a part.
inventing new drum patterns that no other drummer played on any other reggae song. Yes, it's true.
I think it's kind of a prototype for pop reggae of the 80s. You know, I'd imagine that just like we have the record in our collection, I would say that you could probably look at any 80s pop reggae star and they've got this album.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They've got it.
Yeah.
And they've played it enough times to learn it. To be like, oh, well, I need to do one like that.
It has to be. UB40, they have to have worshipped this album before they started getting ideas from this album.
We did an episode years ago on True Democracy, and it's like I hear it. I hear fucking this in True Democracy like 1,000%. Like
yes.
Also, just this is a little tip of my cap to Brandon, but like, you know what else I hear this? I hear this in World on Fire.
Oh.
I hear this in Brandon's album. Like this sound your record, which is a great record and people need to listen to it. It sounds like Third World. That now I hear it.
Wow.
Like I can hear the Third World influence in your music, which is interesting.
I'm going to clip out this little part of the video and put it on my wall. That's my favorite thing that anyone has ever said about my EP.
We were kind of going into it. I mean, if we're talking about like who and what this influenced, we were kind of talking about it. Like I hear like Pink Floyd and Stevie Wonder in this, right? I hear that stuff in this, but then the stuff that I hear this in, first off, Wise Owl, Radiohead, we were talking about before we started, and I really am curious to hear your thoughts on this more, John. And like for me, funny thing, my first thought wasn't actually Radiohead, it was Radio Dread. I was like, oh my God, this is Radio Dread.
Sure, yeah.
Which compositionally, it's Radiohead, right? But like, specifically that first tune, Jah Glory, that whole kind of like opening thing and all of that, it's so radio. It's like straight out of like OK Computer. Like it's like a very similar chord shape to like an OK Computer type of thing.
Cinematic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
cinematic, but there must be, and I hate being the guy that went to fucking Berkeley Music School, and I don't know how to describe this, but like there has to be like a name for this type of like chordal movement that's going on that kind of gives you this. Maybe it's some kind of mode or something that it's in, but it's I think it's one of the earlier songs on OK Computer too. It's like it's like a very dark, very like kind of mysterious, but it's like something in the chords that are like evoking that.
And you don't hear that in any other reggae songs.
Exactly.
You don't hear it in any other music. It's like a Radiohead thing. It sounds like a Radiohead thing.
Very, very Tom Yorkie. Yeah.
Super Tom Yorkie. Yeah. And these guys must be drawing from the same well, or to maybe just give Third World huge props. Just Tom York is, I mean, the Radiohead guys are reggae guys. Like they love reggae. What's his name? The guitar player, Johnny Greenwood. He's like a super dub guy. So it wouldn't surprise me if they actually had heard this, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And again, music school music.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh my God.
This is like, I mean, this is the earliest example that I know of, other than, okay, there's one other era in music history, at least English-speaking world music history, where the same kind of fork in the road happened. And that's around the time of like when the first like garage rock scene happened, right? So like late 50s, early 60s, where, you know, prior to that point, you know, I mean, think of every record that was popular in the 30s and the 40s and the early 50s. Like all music was music school music. All of it was, you know, if you buy a record and you have it and you get it and you listen to it, like there are the accepted and standardized structures of the way that you write a song, the way that songwriting works, and there it is, right? And so that first garage rock era, you know, when things like Hang On Sloopy and stuff like that was coming out, right? That's like the first time where music is coming out that is just being made by some teenagers who have banded together.
Well, we put aside like Alan Lomax and Leadbelly and like all the.
That's true.
You know, and the same.
That's true.
With proto country and proto rock and roll, you know, like all this.
No, you're right. You're right.
You know, we're closer on the like people in. Jason Nugent and I were having a conversation about this. If you thought about the 50s and 60s, the music that was like on radio and TV, that like variety show kind of music, everybody doing that, be it country, it didn't necessarily have like, this is the genre, that's the genre, that's the genre, that's the genre. It was like a variety show's worth of music, and it'd be incredible players playing anything from pedal steel to clarinet with like a full backing band and orchestra. And so everybody in that could read and play charts like sleep. So within that is kind of its own subgenre or the general genre of commercial music at the time. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a similar pattern in the earlier times in Jamaican music, because I feel like that's the tradition that ska comes from, and and rocksteady and things like that, right? And it wasn't until like early reggae, where and then like in the early and mid 70s when now the most popular style of this roots reggae now is coming out is now fully divorced from that older like big band tradition of music making.
It's not hotel music,
right?
Yeah,
and so
it was immense. It was insane. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, this is all good music that we're talking about. Yeah, right. And so I'm not aware of an earlier example of when somebody brought in now that next era of the music school music into reggae than what Third World is doing here, where now they're bringing in not the music school music from the big band era, but the new one, the one from the disco era, from the, you know, what I was talking about before, like the Boston and Steely Dan and that, you know. Yeah.
It's music that feels like wide open to possibility. Like it reminds me of like the music. Oh my God, I almost said something insanely stupid and arrogant. I was about to say the music I was making when I was a kid, but that's not what I mean. It's not what I mean, because I was never this good ever, and I never will be this good. What I mean was like the in the sense that like when you're a kid, when you're like 13, 14, you're first making music, where there actually is no ceiling to like the possibilities of where your music could go. Like I specifically remember when I was really young and I first started making music for the first time, and people would ask me like, what kind of music do you make? And like, what is it? And I would just start listing off like every genre that I knew. And I was like, I make this music. And it was like everything. it was like there is no, I haven't refined it yet because I don't want to, you know? And it's like, it's music where if you could like take that funnel of just like all these influences coming in, but actually outputting something like legible, right? Where you can like legibly kind of track and thread all those influences into like a cogent thing, right? It almost kind of reminds me of like music that like must inevitably be like more common than ever right now because of the internet, right? Because right now we have access to every single piece of recorded music ever, right? It's the kid who's growing up in making bedroom pop or whatever. It's like they just have like this like insane like matrix level like library of knowledge that they can just like download like every fucking like Miles Davis album into their brain and mix it with like CKY or something. You know what I mean? And it's like you'll get these weird, I think fusion is kind of like a weird, gross, feels like a
dirty word.
It does. It feels like it feels
fusion.
It feels like corporate dad, like office guy or something,
Okay.
like office guy jazz or something. Like that's the connotation that fusion gives me. That's kind of why I think I initially was like, oh, this is like prog, like, which is cool.
I get what you mean, because I feel the same way when I hear about an Asian fusion restaurant.
Yeah,
kind of a thing. It's like, okay.
It evokes khaki cargo pants, ponytail, mustache, and sandals with socks.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Dad, hey man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take any offense to that, seeing that I have a ponytail and a mustache and I'm wearing slippers with socks right now. But
You speak from deep knowledge.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not wearing cargo pants. So
remember, our culture is not your costume out there, everybody. It's fine for us to use the F fusion word, but not you.
That could be a t-shirt right there.
Yeah. But it's like again, just to like, I guess, speak to like how ahead of their time they were to even have the thought and the impulse to make something like this that wasn't like a pure distillation of like one thing or one genre. It was like a melting pot of genres of like different disparate like pop sounds. It's like what people do now, like fucking 50 years later. Now people are like hip to that finally, like doing shit like that,
Yeah. This album sounds like the reggae albums that people make now.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were ahead of their time in that they were blending these things, but again, they weren't ahead of their time in what it is that they were playing, because these were the things that were happening concurrently in America and Britain and other parts of the world. I mean, and you earlier compared it to Exodus, right? Which I think is a really good and very telling comparison, because that band, Bob Marley and the Wailers at the time, was being intentionally by their management made as much like a American British style rock band that they could possibly make them.
Yep.
So that they had crossover appeal, intentionally so. And like how we talked about in the Exodus episode, that band had an opportunity that none of the other Jamaican recording projects had, which was that they got to stick together and tour together and keep rehearsing together day after day after week after month after year together without changing lineup. And they get to have these types of they get to explore their material. Oh, and they get to play the same songs. They only have to play their band's songs. They don't have to learn and play other people's songs for a session. And so they get to spend that time exploring their band's material like an American band does, where none of the members are session players. They're members of that band. And Third World...
But yeah, what's the story on this one? Tell us. Yeah,
exactly. Third World is... a band like that, is in American British style, what is meant by a band. So you look at the lineup of who's on here. Okay, Bunny Ruggs is the lead singer, rhythm guitar player. Cat Core, lead guitar player. Ebo Cooper plays keyboards. Carrot Jarrett plays percussion. Richie Daly plays bass. Willie Stewart plays drums.
And this
Now-
is a completely new cast of characters. Like
Exactly.
I would say all the other albums we've covered this summer for Reggae Summer, there's been like people who've shown up on every album that we could be like, oh yeah, he's from this one, he's from that one, he's from this one,
Right.
he's from that one.
This one is
like,
weird because Sticky Thompson did not play percussion on it.
yeah, they got Carrot instead.
Sorry, I interrupted you, Nate. But
No, it's just it's interesting. It's it and you can hear it. You can hear it. This is just like there's not a lot of like I agree with you that this is this is at its core like a roots reggae album, but it doesn't share a lot in common with any of these other albums, save for maybe Exodus, and that's it. And not even that one because there's no shared musicians on with that one either.
Right. So those of you listeners who are aficionados of the session players in Jamaica during this golden age, you'll notice that none of these guys appear on any other album. With the small, tiny exception of Bunny Ruggs, because he recorded, some other things here and there. He recorded at Black Ark.
Oh, and some of them were in
Inner Circle.
Inner Circle, yes.
Okay, should we transition now to our new topic discussion of
who
this band? The origins of this band are in Inner Circle. So Inner Circle is a group.
Jacob Miller, right?
Yes, yeah. So Jacob Miller is not a founding member of Inner Circle, but he, possibly their most well-known era is the era when Jacob Miller was the lead singer.
He's who I think of.
Well, but it's counterbalanced because their two most famous songs are Bad Boys.
Right.
The Cops theme song.
I forgot that's
Bad Boys, Bad Boys. What you gonna do?
Shit.
Right? That's Inner Circle. This is 90s Inner Circle. And
that's
what's it? Sweat.
I don't think
I'm gonna make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry. Anyway, but so both of those are after the era of Jacob Miller until his untimely passing, unfortunately. But Inner Circle began as just as a backing band, and they would play live around Kingston as a cover band. But it's interesting because the founding members are these two brothers, and they came from a wealthy family, right? If you've been listening to our previous Reggae Summer episodes, you'll know that we've been driving into the ground that roots reggae comes from the ghetto. This comes from poverty, and it's like an important aspect of understanding this music. Inner Circle is founded by these two brothers who come from a very wealthy family, and their dad was like, he wanted them to be, I don't know, businessmen or doctors or something. And they're like, Dad, I'm sorry, we want to play music. Can you buy us a bunch of equipment, please? And he's like, all right, fine. Can you buy us a bunch of recording equipment, please? All right, fine. And so they start this band, and they hang out with dreads. They hang out with Rastas, and they start this badass, awesome band. These guys rocked, man. They were amazing. They like rocked the stage like Angus Young, man. They were just like showmen. Awesome. And they were all about it. They were totally connected to the whole scene, everything that was emerging politically, socially, religiously, everything, and hey, they came from a rich family. Okay. Now some of the members of the band that they put together, Inner Circle, they wanted to start playing writing and recording and releasing original music, because Inner Circle at the time was primarily a cover band or a band for hire, like a session band. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to write their own opuses, opi, whatever. So that's Cat Core and Ebo, the keyboard player, and some other members. I can't remember who. They split off from Inner Circle to form Third World. That's where Third World comes from. Now, Cat Core, the founding member, the mastermind of Third World. So you want to talk about coming from a privileged background.
Right. His dad was like...
This is the guy.
The vice president's son or something like that, right? Am I close on that?
All right, check this out.
Yeah.
Okay, Cat Core's father. This is a long list. He was... When this album came out, when 96 Degrees in the Shade came out, his father was the deputy prime minister of Jamaica.
Right.
Actively.
So like number 2.
Yes. That's like being the son of the vice president. Yeah.
Wow.
And so he was one of like the main cohorts of Michael Manley.
Wow.
Of the prime minister at the time, right? Michael Manley, one of the two dudes who Bob Marley put the hands up at his peace concert. At other times in his life, he was the Minister of Finance of Jamaica. He was the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Wow.
He was the Attorney General of Jamaica. He was the highest ranking attorney in Jamaica.
Wow.
He went to law school at Oxford. And he was the chairman of the PNP, which is one of those two main political parties that owns gangs and has them fight and kill other poor people.
They were
in Jamaica.
They were the more like left wing
They're the
party,
left-wing
right?
one.
And then there was, I forget the name of the other one, but they
JNP.
were the JNP,
right-wing one.
right? They're the right wing one.
So Cat Core's father was the dude who like masterminded the campaign that got Michael Manley elected to prime minister.
Wow.
He was one of the people who was involved in writing the Constitution of Jamaica.
Wow. So it's crazier than just the vice. It's like if your dad was John Hancock or something.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, if your dad was Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I just want to play music. I don't know,
Right.
Dad.
So that's what Third World has behind it, right? Cat Core grew up, and his mother, by the way, was also a musician who studied at like the Royal College of Music in London. Ebo Cooper, the keyboard player, his dad was like a police officer. You know, all these guys come from like upper class families, and they all like studied classical music when they were little kids. You know, they learned piano, and Cat Core's first instrument was violin. I think he like started studying violin at like the most prestigious music school in Jamaica when he was like freaking 5 years old or something. You know?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you can hear it. You can hear it.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
You can totally hear it. And I don't even know what resources they have, because we were talking about it, how there is like no clue on the internet what studio was this album recorded in.
Totally.
Where did they record this?
Yeah, like I have a copy of this. I don't know if this isn't like a particularly like sought after copy. Not that there even is one, because this album sold millions of copies back then. So there's no like particularly hard to find copy of it or anything, but there is a copy that John has that has an insert that has a bunch of info about, you know, different band members and has the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. And we thought, oh my God, John, you've got the Holy Grail that's going to tell us where this was recorded, because it's not on the internet. We can't find any info about it. And John looked at it for us and sent us some photos, and it's not even on the insert. There's like no info on where this was recorded. It's like shockingly like undocumented.
I think if you look at the thanks on the engineer credits, and then you get crazy, like on a, you know, get crazy Discogs on it.
Yeah.
And do your research on the engineer.
Yeah.
I bet you could find the studio.
Or you could probably deduce like, because I mean, this is also an Island Records thing, and you could probably.
Yes, who are the 3 or 4 engineers that were doing this for Island?
Yeah.
And where do they record it?
And where they record at?
However, as we know, Island and Chris Blackwell were flying these recording engineers around. Sylvan Morris, who's one of the engineers on this album, flying these guys around to other locations, like they flew them out to the Bahamas to record Night Nurse. So just because the engineer was there, here's my totally unsubstantiated theory that has no evidence behind it at all, is that it's not listed because it's some kind of like home studio. It's some kind of like it was at my dad's house and we just have a bunch of fucking equipment because we have a bunch of money.
Yeah, I was going to say, if
like
house has a studio that's more expensive than Ocean Way.
Sure.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what? It doesn't, just using my ears, it doesn't sound like Channel 1. Doesn't sound like Joe Gibbs. It doesn't sound like Compass Point.
Nope.
It doesn't sound tough. My theory was possibly Tough Gong, because it does sound like this was recorded in Jamaica to me. This doesn't have that like glossy, like it's really, really well done, and it's a very clean and very well recorded album.
Yeah.
This isn't like a 2/7 Clash situation or something where it just is like, oh my God, they put a garbage can on top of the drum set and recorded it. Like, it's not like that, like crazy. This is like a really hi-fi sounding record. But it doesn't sound like any of the studios we've kind of covered so far on this.
Right.
They all have a very signature sound to them. And this, maybe I think Tough Gong because one, it was an expensive studio even back then. It was Bob Marley's studio, and maybe they were going for some kind of crossover thing, and they thought, oh, let's go do it there. And possibly the biggest reason I think that is because I don't think I have like my palette for being able to recognize Tough Gong just like out of the blue is not as sharp. I don't think I could like pick Tough Gong out of a lineup. You know what I mean? Like I could maybe
if you look at
Channel
the
1.
You'll see that there's two engineers credited for vocals and overdubs.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, as separate studio,
which was really common.
Okay.
Really common. Like Channel 1, they would do all the basics at Channel 1, and then they'd do all the vocals at Tubby's or something. It's really tough to say.
There's got to be somebody somewhere that knows what's up.
I know. Yeah.
Yes. So if you know, please help us out in the comments. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in third world, leave a comment.
Yeah. Catcore, I know you're out there. Please tell us.
We love you.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Weirdly, and like, I think kind of what you're getting at, Brandon, with that is like, given that they come from so much money and like, they could have easily documented this like thoroughly if they wanted to.
Yep.
For some reason they didn't. They don't mention it. And like I actually do kind of like your idea that maybe there just wasn't like a studio. It was like, yeah, they just did it themselves somewhere with really nice gear,
Yeah.
Kind of,
or maybe they did go to Ocean Way. Maybe this was recorded in LA and and they just like didn't want to say that for some reason.
Tell us about the mystery.
Yeah. Or like, it could have been like one of those mobile rig situations like the Stones or Zeppelin would do, where they're just like I can imagine like a mobile recording rig just like rolling up to like the vice president's house, and it's just like, all right, yeah. Oh, this is your guys' rehearsal space in the fucking the grand ballroom of your dad's house or wherever the fuck,
the White House of Jamaica. Like,
we'll bring some shit, we'll record you,
But it's really interesting too, by the way. Like when we were talking with Scientist, he was telling us about how, I mean, even in the early 80s, how like it being a dreadlock, like your family would disown you.
Yeah.
Like if you come from a middle class or upper class family, like being a dread was not socially acceptable, not something for polite society. And, this is like 5 years before the period of time that Scientist was talking about. And I notice, so Catcore's father, this politician who we're talking about, he has a Wikipedia page. There's like obituaries for him and stuff. When you look at all of those things, there is not any mention of Catcore or Third World at all. You know, he's the father of like a super famous, world famous musician, and it doesn't mention that.
Whoa. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder that speaks to there must have been weird headbutting there somewhere.
For their sake, I hope not, but yeah, I mean,
$5.99 on Amazon to see this documentary.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, we don't need the terrible Bob Marley movie where it's played by a guy who's not from Jamaica. Please. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I can't do it. Can't bring myself to watch that.
I watched it. Here's how good it was. I watched it in preparation for the Exodus episode, and it didn't bring it up at all.
Didn't inform anything about
matter.
Bob Marley that was relevant to that discussion. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, right, John, like these are the stories. I mean, of course, no one would probably go to see that because not enough people know who Catcore is. But anyway, yeah.
How about Brandon? Why don't you go first? What are your standout songs?
I get to go first, eh?
Hair pick 96 degrees. That's cheating.
Yeah, that is cheating. Okay, I won't pick 96 degrees. We'll save that at the end to be our communal pick. How about that?
Yeah. That is the communal free bingo square.
Yes.
We all pick 96 degrees in the shade. But besides that, Brandon, do you have any other one or two that you really dug?
I do, and Nate, I love you for picking me, but can I defer to John? I kind of want John to go first because
that's a great idea.
I want to hear it through. I want to bestow this glory upon the listenership as well to hear this through the lens of particularly your musical brain here, John. Okay, because I know that you hear and see things that I never even noticed were there.
Brandon's right. I'm a rude host. John, our guest, should actually go first.
Before and Third World Man. Remember, we were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is that that chordal structure hits me like Radiohead, or as you say now, like Radio Dread. But just the general feel on Third World Man is like, this doesn't have a chord structure that I remember hearing for any reggae song.
No, it's very non-standard Jamaican music.
Say I own 70 to 80 like reggae albums that I love, that I've listened to more than 100 times each since I was 6 years old. And I don't remember hearing this on that.
Yeah. Also that, like, can we talk about the, like, I am a bionic man. What is that about? That is wild.
That is full kitchen sink. That is indulgent.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's cool. It's interesting.
I mean, well, it's indulgent.
Yes.
Like, let's do that.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, sure.
It feels like a P-Funk move or something.
Well, let's go back and think 76. What were we doing in 76? Who could come up with that in 76? Maybe that would be in the Parliament Funkadelic world, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I always think in terms of like, okay, when I was listening to stuff in 77, man. But like,
well, it also comes from that world of like prog rock. It sounds like Rush, like Yes, something like that from that world, like I am the bionic man, like,
Yeah.
like we're just gonna put this vocoder on our voice and we're gonna have a character in there. I mean, all the way back to Black Sabbath. I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like it's a very
What is okay? I didn't get to like analyze the lyrics in that song very deeply. Do either of you have any insight on what that is like referencing?
What the hell is he talking
What the
about?
hell was he talking about when he's saying I am not a bionic man?
It's pro roots and it's anti modernism.
I see. Yes.
Anti-capitalism.
Yeah. Being a bionic man is like antithetical to being like a third world man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that immediately clicked
I'm not
for
a
me.
part of the modern world. I'm not a part of this electronic world,
Yes.
I mean,
Interesting when you think that they used all the most recent, newest electronics to create these sounds.
Yeah. I mean, it's in service of illustrating a point, right?
Yeah.
But yes.
Right.
It's ironic.
a very meta, it's a very elevated kind of artistry, like the one moment where they use a vocoder like to electronicize a human voice.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the meaning, maybe part of what that song means is that here's this, old school pastoral living person who is denying that he's participating in the modern world, but his voice is vocoded, like he has no choice. He's trying to say, no, I'm not a part of this, but he is. Like he is becoming a part of the machine. We're all becoming a part of the machine. And all this, again, this is so ahead of its time. This is like an 80s art conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you see that in every time a decade like rolls over into the next one. There's always like it's like I always like point to like the Pixies, where like they were like a grunge band, but they just put out their records in like 86, 87, 88. You know what I mean? Like they were doing 90s shit. They just were doing it first. You know what I mean? And you could say that about these guys. Like they were just completely front running everything you're gonna see in the 80s. Or it's like a chicken and the egg thing. It's like, were they doing it first, or did it all happen because of what they did, right? Like, because they did this, you know what I mean?
But again, other people outside of Jamaica were doing this, right? I mean, when did like Moroder start putting out his stuff?
Like, well, like 70s, mid 70s.
So what was Gary Newman doing in 70s?
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when did Pleasure Principle come out? Okay, that was 79.
79. Yeah.
Wow.
But Moroder was 77.
Right. I take it back. They were ahead of their time.
Moroder was 77. I mean, Kraftwerk was in the 70s. Like,
Kraftwerk. There you go.
Our long lost Kraftwerk episode coming soon. Hopefully, maybe never.
Yeah. We recorded an episode about Kraftwerk. Like
we never put it
ago.
out. Yeah.
One of these days.
They were paying attention to everything around them.
Yes. Yeah.
Synthesizing it literally.
Yes. Totally. Yeah. How about any other standout songs for you, John, other than 96 Degrees in the Shade?
Rhythm of Life. It has a good pop sensibility to it.
Nice choice.
Oh, that's the last tune. That song's amazing. That's a really good one. It's a really interesting way to end the record too, because I feel like my maybe hot take on that song is I feel like it starts possibly stronger than any song. It's such a great song, but it kind of meanders its way out. Like it kind of and then it's over.
I kind of expect it to move to another tune and then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the record's over.
And then the record's over.
Yeah.
And it ends with, by the way, bringing in things that are only present in rock and roll and nowhere else. It has a freaking bass solo. Find me a bass solo on a Jamaican record.
Yeah.
I dare you.
It is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And it for me, it's a bit of a fake out because listening to the vinyl, I'm like, oh, another song's coming. No, that's it. Oh,
yeah. almost like you know how a lot of records that came out on vinyl, it's like once they came out on CD, they'll have like the bonus tracks, but it's really just like the rest of the album that just couldn't fit on the record.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, you're expecting that, but that's not. This is it. That's the end. It's a really weird. But you know what it does? It just leads to going like this.
Flip the
Side A, put it back on. You know, and I literally did that so many times. I lost count how many times I just kept flipping it back and forth.
Yeah. There were a couple that we were talking about earlier in this, like Night Nurse, I think was one where we were talking about, like, I've heard it a bazillion times, and every time that the last song is over, I'm like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I thought there were like 4 more songs. This one is completely like that. Yeah. Nate, you recognize that, the melody in that song?
Which one? Well, point it. No, I don't. Point it out to me.
That's the one where on our black market dub version of the Grateful Dead song.
Yes.
Which one is it? It's Fire on the Mountain.
Fire in the Mountain, yeah.
That's nice up yourself and out of rhythm of life.
Oh my God. I knew that was from something else, but I didn't even connect that. That's amazing.
Full circle.
It's amazing because I just saw Grateful Dead in San Francisco, and when Fire in the Mountain, when they played Fire in the Mountain, I was like, "Where's that one part?" Because I think I've heard
96 degrees.
Yeah,
that's
it's on
where
96 degrees in the shade. That's really funny because I was listening to that and this, and I didn't make the connection even while all that music was literally right in front of my fucking face all week. So I initially set up Brandon to go first, and now I'm actually going to ensure that he goes last because I'm going to go next.
Okay, you're going next.
So my 2 standouts are actually the first 2 songs, Jah Glory into Tribal War, which, okay.
Let's talk about it.
So Jah Glory, the way this album starts off, it's this really mystical setup. Right. Okay, Brandon, I swear. Yeah.
It's like the beginning of like fucking...
It's like flutes and shit, or like, is it like Mellotron, or what is that?
It's several keyboard instruments.
Yeah.
I believe, so I don't know exactly. In his arsenal on this album, I believe there's an Oberheim, and I believe there's a Moog, a mini Moog. But for example, going back to Rhythm of Life, that intro, when it finally drops into the intro, for the longest time I thought that was a trombone.
Right.
It's like a mini Moog.
Yeah.
It's a synthesizer. He's just rocking like a trombone sound-alike sound.
There's not horns on this record, I don't think.
There's no horns.
There's nothing.
There are horns on it. This is the only thing where I'm like, come on, guys.
Well, of course you would say that.
Yeah.
Of course you feel that way.
Well, because I always equate them of the time period to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean that in like the best possible comparison.
And it's weird because it is such a lush record where you get the sense of like no expense was spared, and like every instrumentation idea they had, they got.
No expense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a fucking marimba on this, or a vibraphone, or whatever it is. Right. It's like, who had that laying around?
That's the genius of Ebo Cooper.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? He gets that texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all these synths and also even he's playing B3s, he's playing acoustic pianos as well, you know. Just another testament to how they do all of this experimentation, and they don't leave the boundaries of the true original like rules, so to speak, of roots reggae. Like it's still legit.
The synths are like super deceptively convincing too. Like you have to really know what you're listening for to be able to like pick out like, oh, that's a synth, until it's like super obvious that it's a synth. Like a lot of the big like string, like kind of pad, like I want to call them pads, but like they're used like pads, but they're so like, they're not soft. They're very like sharp pads they sound like string section, like pads, you know.
The synthesizers had not become gentle yet at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
So this is like, I mean, I don't know if he's playing a prophet on it. Again, it feels like one of those big Oberheims and a mini Moog and some other things. But anyways,
in some ways it hits me a bit like Oswald.
Mm.
You know, like, okay, we're not having horns do all these parts. We're having synths do all these fun parts that are hiding.
Yeah,
they're there, but they're kind of mixed back.
I mean, yet again, another instance of them like front running a bunch of shit that reggae would do in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It's like this is a total 80s reggae move, is to like be like, you know what? Let's replace the horn section with a guy playing synth horn lines, you know, or something like that. Like,
or let's distort the guitar, but keep it really low in the mix. Like, okay, here's another line and another line.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jah Glory is, I talk about this all the time. Perfect track one. A lot of times I point out songs where I'm like, that should be track one. This is a great track one, but it should be track 2 or 3. This is like, I can't imagine a better way to kick this album off. It's super mystical, super spooky, which, as you know, we've been talking about in the last couple of episodes, I am really vibing with those kind of songs lately. And this song, it's just like, to open a song with, like, the lyrics are basically about the dawn of the sun, and then like the sunset and the sunrise. It's just like this beautiful imagery.
I see Jah Glory in the morning sun. I see Jah Glory when the day is done. It's eternal. From the beginning, from the Alpha to the Omega, I see Jah Glory in all things at all times.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the way that it's presented in that like stacked vocal delivery. Oh my God.
Each tune too is like, it's kind of like, let's make a grocery list of cool subjects to make a song about.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. It's a perfect way to kick the album off. And it already sets up all these, it immediately sets up all these weird, like, musical side roads that the whole album's going to go down, because it starts with what? It's like, it's doing like an Isaac Hayes thing.
Right.
It's doing an Isaac Hayes, like, funky intro. And like, when it started, I was like,
and
whoa.
Pink Floyd, like an on the run thing.
Yes. Totally.
Right?
Totally.
And it starts and ends with it. It's bookended with that.
Yes.
With that texture. Yeah.
And so I can't like confirm this. I should have played the songs on guitar and like figured this out to confirm. But to my brain, like, Jah Glory, I picked Jah Glory into Tribal War specifically because, to my brain, the chord shape of Tribal War, it either shares chords or shares a similar key, or is like in a relative key or something. Tribal War almost sounds like just a reinterpretation of the Jah Glory chord shape in a way. Obviously, and again, yet another example of like the chord shape of Tribal War. That is not a reggae drum beat. That is like a wild thing that you'll never hear on any other reggae album. It is fully informed by the other pop sensibilities of the time, of the 70s. It's informed by the greater 70s. It's not like, oh, this is what fucking Gregory Isaacs just did. It's like,
let me drop another layer of the genius of this song, Tribal War, on there too.
Please do.
Because if you look at where the upbeat is, right, where the skank lies, it has like a halftime skank. It's not dum bank gank gank gank. It's dum chang chang, back and forth and back and forth, along with this unique drum pattern that you don't find in any other reggae song. And so that halftime skank, it gives it the same pulse as a Nyabingi drum pattern. So it is in touch with what's happening in American music and bringing in other influences, and what it's interpolating it with is not even reggae, it's Nyabingi.
Yeah, it's like a deeper cut of reggae.
It's a deeper, even more rootsy
yes
aspect of the culture to connect it to. And the way that they sing, check out the vocal part, right? Tribal war, and never have it in a Babylon, right? In our fatherland, right? So it's not a reggae fusion, it's Nyabingi fusion.
Yeah. That's a really astute point. You're so right. Yeah, it's a brilliant 1-2 punch to start the record. It's so sick, and it's so dope. It's so Pink Floyd. It's so Radiohead. Like it's so and this is an instance where the songs do, like the end of Jah Glory just seamlessly flows into Tribal War, and it feels just like one big, the album starts by giving you the sense that this is just going to be one big piece, because it kind of is. Like it feels that way.
Exactly.
Once you have that first transition from track 1 to track 2, it's like the whole thing now feels like just small pieces of a bigger whole. Like,
and it continues. Tribal War bleeds into Dreamland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's also no silence in between.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Really,
it just goes into the little percussions and little
tinklings. All the songs are like very distinct from each other. You know what I mean? Like it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting what they're doing on this.
They're serving an appetizer one after another while you haven't finished with the first one yet.
Yes. Totally.
And that's not a bad thing.
Also, I mean, I feel like before we get into 96 Degrees in the Shade, the song, am I crazy that, like, to me, the singing, but the vocals on this are really reminiscent to me as a listener of the Heptones, but specifically the Heptones on Party Time, which is where I think the Heptones sound their most different. Mm-hmm. I don't know maybe that's just a small aside, but like to me,
like how so? Like,
I don't know, like the timbres of their voices, the registers they're singing in, the way they're singing together, it's party times. It's party time reminiscent to me in some way. I don't know.
Well, definitely Bunny Ruggs and Leroy Sibbles both have that same sort of, what is that, John? Is that baritone? What they are, or whatever, tenor? I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
but they're in that same mid-low.
Yeah, they're
area.
Taking low of a tenor, but high of a baritone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, remember, or also, I'm still taking it back to 76. What were the Temptations doing in 76?
Right. That's the real commonality to all these bands.
Yeah.
Is bands like that.
Yeah. Because if you, for me, like one of my favorites, and some people hate it, but Papa Was a Rolling Stone. It just always, it pops into my head in terms of using so many overdubs, so many multiple voices, actually even taking Sly in there too.
Yeah, for sure. Which that makes sense. It would make sense that that's probably really what they were all being influenced by, rather than Third World's being influenced by the Heptones or something.
Yeah,
but,
right. Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Marvin Gaye. Yeah,
I almost had to double check and be like, are one of the Heptones like in Third World, and I just didn't know. Because it really, I don't know. They really sound similar to me, specifically. But anyway, that's a small aside. So obviously, if you're even a little bit familiar with this record, I think if you know anything from this, you probably know the one song we haven't all talked about.
I don't get to do my picks. Do you see
sorry.
Do you see what Nate is doing to me?
Whole time.
Caught on camera.
You see how I just slowly just tried to completely cut you out? I was like, go first. Wait, no. Go second.
Everyone can see that Nate is the true villain. of Playback.
Okay, sorry, Brandon, and your whatever. Hurry up, pick whatever songs you want to do.
Hurry up. Well, my first pick when I was writing them down was Jah Glory.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Yes.
I think I came to the record because I had been exposed to the song 96 Degrees, but it was Jah Glory that made me like write this, note to self. 96 Degrees in the Shade is like the fucking best record ever made. Holy crap. It was really that song. But since you already picked it, let me pick some other things. Human Marketplace.
That's a great one.
Can we talk about Human Marketplace?
Yes.
Holy crap. This is one of the things that for me really cements it into that zone which I was talking about, where they don't sacrifice the roots. They don't leave home base of where roots reggae is located. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even just that title.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the fact that they did field recording too, to like, okay, let's take this home.
Yeah, they really drive home the theme with that.
The field recording of the big, I can't remember the name of it, but like the big famous bustling marketplace in Kingston.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So Human Marketplace, man, I don't know. There's just something that really captivated me the first time that I listened to this album when that came on, and just the lyric. Why is this buying and selling still going on in this human marketplace? It's such
so
like,
fucked up.
I know, but like the imagery of it's such like, what a way to evoke to render it artistically, the situation. And I love that they say it in the present tense. Why is this buying and selling still going on? Because we speak about, even on this podcast, we as people speak about slavery in the past tense. Chattel slavery still exists in the world to this day.
I feel I'm getting angry right now talking about this because like we try to keep these episodes relatively evergreen, which means like don't talk about like current events that are gonna like immediately date these episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
What? Epstein? What? Epstein?
Yeah. But something this week that's in the news that really, really fucking bothers me, and I think is particularly bothering me, given that so much of our content this summer we've talked about slavery and about the horrible history of slavery, and it's the fact that the Trump administration has just fucking deleted NPR and like public broadcasting basically, and now in its stead they want to replace it with like PragerU, like children's content, which if you're not familiar with that, Dennis Prager is like this horrible, super right-wing Christian moron, basically, who makes content for children, but it's like this completely whitewashed fucking garbage. And one of the clips that I saw, that they're basically peddling as like a replacement to Sesame Street. It's like a little animated Christopher Columbus. And he's talking about, and in the clip, Christopher Columbus says, you have to take into consideration that at the time, we didn't really think of slavery as like a bad thing, and we didn't know it was bad. And you have to think for the slaves, it's a lot better to be a slave than to be killed, right? Don't you think, kids? And it's like specifically directed at children to whitewash slavery, right? And
that reminds me of Mugatu in Zoolander, like his brainwashing video where he's talking about child labor. Like,
yes.
These mean guys won't let me work at the factory like I want to.
It's exactly like that.
Oh my God.
And like I was watching that, I think it was earlier today, and with all this and Human Marketplace, listening to Human Marketplace and listening to all this stuff. And I had the thought, I was just like, you have to be so fucking stupid to misunderstand how horrible slavery was. You have to be a fucking moron. A moron if you actually think slavery wasn't that bad. If you actually think that, you are as dumb as it gets. There's no saving you. Like there's nothing anyone can do for you. Like it just made me fucking sick. Like that having to see that in the news while like ingesting this music is.
Are you ready for blood of tears coming from your eyes and ears?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Smithsonian. That's all. That's one word I need to say.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah. And yeah, it's just all this like concerted effort to whitewash this shit because it's our ancestors that did this shit to people, and it's despicable and it's disgusting, and a lot of people can't fucking live with it. You know, they can't live with the fact that we were part of this, you know?
Dude,
What?
I don't want to contribute to like we're just full on, you know, going in this, but when you said it was our ancestors who did it, it's one of the most heartbreaking things about Babylon and the white privilege that we enjoy, which is that very literally my own ancestors were not part of that. However, they immigrated to this country like the longest one, like 100 years ago. And yet, because I'm white, I piggyback onto that privilege that the other people set up to keep away from all of the descendants of slaves who have been whose families have been here for 400, 500 years that they don't get to enjoy. But my family, who are immigrants who've come here like within the last 60 to 100 years, I get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, when I say our ancestors, I mean specifically like our kind of royal our Western ancestors, right? Our Western European ancestors are our fellow whites, right? This is us. This is what we fucking did to these people for 400 fucking years. And like, I don't know. I don't know. Just read a fucking book, please.
All of this.
I like that you said it with a hard H too.
Yeah.
Yes. All of this is why I love the song Human Marketplace. Yeah. Because it brings all of this into your mind. Yes. Right? And like I talked about at the beginning of the episode, third world, the more that you learn about these individuals who are in this band, like they didn't have to go there. They could have just played popular music and sold records. They could have just capitalized on this hot new sound.
Right.
And moved on. They could have, but they didn't. They made and recorded songs like Human Marketplace when they didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like they were not obligated to bring this voice into their art and put it on their records, but dude, they fucking did. And it's legit. And it's not cringy. It's not done in a way where it's like, oh dude, you don't really get it. No, like, this shit hits just as hard as Junior Delgado, Sons of Slaves.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. And I think we got to go into the song that.
Okay,
hits.
so I only get to pick one song now.
Well, you said Jah Glory.
Do you see what Nate does to me, everybody?
You said your
John,
first pick was
I'm so glad that you're here.
You fucking
Send
said
help for me, John.
You said my first pick was gonna be Jah Glory, but you already picked it.
I know you already picked it, so I would have picked something
Brandon,
else.
now that we've found love, what are we going to do with it?
What are we going to do with it?
What are we going to do with it?
What are we going to do with it, John?
Nate, we need to find love with you.
I guess. I'm the villain of the show.
You are
I'm the villain of the show because I record the show like this. I stare at my fucking watch while we're recording. Anyway,
all right,
Brandon, what's your
get
pick,
to the meat of this thing. Come on, got to get the machete and cut the coconut open and drink it.
Yes.
Go.
All right, one more song before we do. Since I can't have Jah Glory.
Do you see? Yeah.
So this is an interesting one for me because in some ways this is actually my least favorite song, but I'm going to pick it because of how interesting it is. So Feel a Little Better.
I love that song.
Yeah. Okay. To be quite honest with you, this is one of the most skipped ones for me.
I like that one.
This song, when we're talking about what's going on with the chords, what's going on in the composition of this song, so it begins in the key of C, right?
Nate,
You
you
get,
the green lightsaber, don't you? Yeah. Okay.
what's that?
He says, "I do have a green lightsaber. Yes, I'm good,
No,
but I'm."
you
but I'm
like
bad.
the green lifesaver.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I thought you said green lightsaber. Like I'm Luke Skywalker, but I'm like evil, bad Luke Skywalker.
The tempted Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So this song, it from the intro, and then when the beat drops, it goes to the relative minor, right? And then it goes from the key of C then to A minor, but nowhere in the entire song does it play the chord C.
Interesting.
They never play the tonic chord in the entire song. Then when the solo section comes around, it goes to the parallel major. Now it's an A major. Who does this on reggae records? Nobody.
It's super nerd shit.
Nobody.
It's
Yeah.
like compositionally, song by song by song, it's super nerd shit.
This is music school music.
Yeah, it is.
Being played in the context of homemade music.
Well, you'll notice lyrically also that in there they don't get too dirty. On this song, think about it.
Come make we
think
dub it.
about it. Yeah, like
come make we rub it.
Yeah.
I can say rub it because of the phrase rub a dub. I'm not saying rub like rub. No. I get to get away with it with a coy play of words for rub a dub.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
So like we're still sort of family friendly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is another big thing in American pop music.
Yes.
I'm going to sing the naughty phrase that everyone knows what I'm talking about, but I can technically get away with it because it'll play on words.
Which I think,
that's right. That's a good point.
Pop music has suffered by becoming more explicit. They've missed the point when.
Oh yeah, when you have to dance around it, then
it's
you get
way more fun.
Yeah,
it's way more fun. Yeah.
Like what? What do you mean roll my lemon? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you mean I have to be creative when I write my lyrics?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Nate. Evil.
Oh, you want to talk about 96 Degrees in the Shade
Darth
now?
Nate.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
Bring that up.
Fuck you, dude. That's Darth Nate.
Bring that up.
Weird. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about 96 Degrees in the
now
Shade.
you have to edit lasers for his eyes. You have to.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world calls this song 96 Degrees in the Shade.
Yep.
But the title of the song is 1865.
Yeah. Yep.
Why is it called? So John, do you want to take point on throwing down the background of this song?
It's all in there in the lyrics, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, basically, it speaks to two heroes of Jamaica, the legend of two heroes of Jamaica who were unjustly and without trial hanged publicly, as well as hundreds of others that were rebelling.
Yep. Hundreds killed.
Murdered.
Yeah.
And what was this? So this is, we're referring to the Morant Bay Rebellion.
Yep.
And we're probably going to do a horrible job recounting this particular event. It's kind of complex.
So the quick bottom line is in 1865, the Jamaican hero, a guy named Paul Bogle, was hanged to death, murdered by the government. So why? He was leading a revolt of the people against the government of Jamaica, which at the time was, the local representatives of Britain, of the Queen of England, who were managing and running their colony of Jamaica. So this is 1865, which for Americans, that would be a year that you would equate to the abolition of slavery. And you would be because you're in America, but no. in Jamaica and everywhere else in the world, well, almost everywhere else in the world, slavery was abolished way before that.
Yeah.
Right? So in Jamaica, it was abolished in the 1830s. But look, here's a little stat that I found that can sort of illustrate the degree of the way in which. So, oh my God, this is such a big topic.
It is.
So another thing too is that in America, the people who are the descendants of slaves are not, above 50% of the population of the country. In Jamaica, it's by far
it's like 90%.
The majority of people, by far.
Yeah.
Right? So in 1864, the year before the Morant Bay Rebellion, when Paul Bogle was arrested and killed, there were elections held.
Also given no trial.
Right.
Also given no trial at all. And none of the other hundreds of people who were killed along with him, one of which was a politician, was an actual member of the assembly, like the equivalent of being a member of Congress,
right,
was also just arrested and hung with no trial. So during this time in 1864, when there were elections, the black population of Jamaica outnumbered the white population by about 32-1. Okay? So this is about 436,000 people. Out of all those people, 2,000 of them were allowed to vote.
Even though these were all technically freed slaves who had the right to vote.
Exactly.
But they implemented poll taxes and nobody could afford it because their living conditions were so poor. And
well, you'd think that somehow this relates to today. No.
Yeah. No. Not if you watch PragerU.
Oh, geez.
It's nothing to do with that.
No,
yeah.
so the right to vote at the time, it had restrictions based on property that you own or don't own, what your gender is. Only men were allowed to vote, and literacy also. By the way, poll taxes is something that is sort of at times misunderstood because it doesn't have to do with a poll in meaning that you have to pay a tax to vote.
Wait,
poll
are we talking about 1865 or 2025 right now?
Right. Poll tax is a tax. Poll doesn't have to do with going to the polls. Poll just means being a person. Mm-hmm. Poll is like a word for a head, meaning you go into your house, how many people are in this house, you got to pay taxes for each one of those people.
Gotcha.
So no matter what, it doesn't matter what time it is, it's that time of the month or that time of the year or whatever, you got to pay taxes. Every person has to give the government this much money.
If you want to be able to vote, right?
No, if you want to not be in prison.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
It doesn't have to do with voting.
Gotcha.
It's just a tax on being alive in Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I'm sure you could imagine who could afford that and who could not afford that.
Right.
There's just an unemployment situation, the likes of which none of us have ever experienced.
Smallpox, cholera.
Yeah.
All this shit. So they marched on the Capitol to protest these horrible living conditions. And like John said, they basically, led by Paul Bogle, the white ruling class government in Jamaica, basically just for lack of a better term, just like willy-nilly, just anyone that was black, they just rounded up, hung them, burned their houses down, just went out of their way to kill anyone that they suspected or assumed was part of this uprising. And
Paul Bogle was a preacher. He was a pastor. They just went to his town. They burned down his church. They burned down the entire town that he was from.
So insanely unjust, event, sad, despicable piece of, colonial history, Jamaican history. But literally martyred this guy, turned him into a martyr for the citizenry.
Like the lyric says, entertainment for you, martyrdom for me.
Yeah. So that's the background of this song. That is what this song is about. Fascinating to me. I actually really want to read more about this particular event. It's really, really interesting.
It's
really
it's
sad.
It's one snapshot in the whole, just like overwhelming tapestry of the whole story of the Atlantic slave trade.
Yeah,
man. Because it really makes me realize too is that like these days when people like us talk about this topic, we usually just use the words slavery, and sort of just leave it at that. And it makes it sort of feel like and seem like that the only issue at hand was that people were held against their will and forced to work and not given any money, and at times were murdered and killed.
Yeah, but slavery is like the most loaded word, like in the history.
The reality of what actions were done to other people, like the degrees of torture that you can't even put into a movie.
Yeah,
because the censors won't even allow you to depict such a terrible thing and a violent and like soul-sucking action to do to another person. Like this was done to thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of people.
Let's reinforce this was government sanctioned.
And then exactly. Thank you, John.
Public
thank you.
Lynching of free individuals. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so abhorrent, and there's so many stories that I would say the vast majority of these horrible stories are probably lost to time even. There is no way to actually fully encapsulate it in any piece of art. Like, yeah.
They're so numerous that it's difficult to educate yourself about it just because of the volume of accounts of dates and times and events and shit. Like, and
because like the political descendants of the same people who perpetuated this shit, their political grandchildren who are fucking ruling us now, right?
And in some cases, they're literal grandchildren.
Yeah. They have been working overtime. Part of the project of, them losing slavery has been to either whitewash it or to just make life horrible for Black people, forever in perpetuity. And they're still working on that. It's still a project.
Exactly. Because the horrible truth of it is that, okay, did they lose because slavery was abolished and it doesn't exist anymore? No, it's so despicable that they have set themselves up to win in that situation of slavery ending, where they still come out on top and will stay on top, and their place on top is entrenched. And their forcing of the other people and the descendants of the people that they took advantage of is entrenched that they will stay on the bottom.
Yeah. So
they, even in the situation where they ended up losing, they've ensured that they win.
It's not over. It's still not over. Like the battle, this battle that we're talking about that was being fought hundreds of years ago, we're just in the modern day chapter of that same fucking fight. We're still fighting this shit. That is like at the core of like all this like racial tension that we see from the top down, right? It all stems back to this shit. Because fundamentally, I promise you, there are people that millions of people voted for who deep down in their hearts think this shit was good and that we should go back to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I don't know. That's again why we want to talk about reggae music.
and that's, yes, exactly. And that's why I love this album. It provokes conversations like this. Like, that this is the subject matter that is at hand on this album.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's amazing how it's even more close to the surface of the artwork than it is in a lot of roots reggae music, which is specifically about this exact topic that we're talking about.
Completely relevant. Completely relevant. This album is, holy crap, recorded 50 plus years ago, or 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it could, not just sonically, but, subject matter wise, it's relevant like today, right now.
I would argue if Third World were to have released this album today and it got the same positive reception it got back then today upon new release, you would literally see someone in the Trump administration like denounce it.
Oh, absolutely.
You would literally see someone in the government say, this is fucked up. You shouldn't listen to this. Ban it.
Ban it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And, God forbid, I hope that it doesn't happen and everything turns around and gets better tomorrow, I hope. But I mean, like, we're just like a few squares away from there being like a Latino Paul Bogle in America.
Yeah.
Like if and when someone really does like capture the people's hearts and take up the cause and become the figure, who knows what they're going to do to them?
There are people right now pressed into service, or people that are in service of this government in this country, walking the streets of Washington, D.C., our fucking capital, right now, checking people's fucking papers.
Exactly.
And they're heavily armed.
Yep.
So if those people who they are systematically subjugating, if they get a Paul Bogle, what do you think they're going to do to him?
I think it's yet to be seen. We'll see what they do to Luigi. That will be a good. That'll be a good. We'll see if they can get him. Then we'll see what they're gonna do. They're gonna make an example of him, and they'll show their hand of what they'll do to anybody.
Yeah.
But anyway, goddamn.
Anyway,
there we are.
Anyway,
hey, we're just
reggae. Hey,
reggae.
Hey, who wants a Mai Tai? Brandon,
good.
who you want a Mai Tai? How about a Mai Tai for you? Round of Mai Tais.
Exactly. Get right, John. Good thing that reggae is just happy music.
Yeah.
Good thing that it's all about weed and smoking weed.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's so fun and happy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every song on here.
Lucky for us.
Jah Glory, weed.
Yeah, all the songs on this record are about marijuana, aren't they?
Isn't that what reggae's about?
Dreamland. I think we didn't talk about that. That's a strain of indica. That's all that song's about. That's all that song's about. There's nothing nothing to go into.
We didn't talk about that song, and that song is very important. Bunny Wailer cover, fucking masterpiece about repatriation to Africa.
Why should we even listen to this album? It's not about weed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
My font is in caps, all caps.
Always.
Yes.
Anyway, do we have anything more to say on 96 Degrees in the Shade, the song?
1865? Yeah.
1865. I mean, just that it astounds me right now how much we just had to say about it. And we didn't even touch on like the music of the song.
Yeah. And we're totally bearing the lead because it is the best song on the album. Dude, it's the most catchy song on the whole record. Like it's great.
The fattest, deepest groove. Like it's
the fact is all this talk we just did, this preamble we just had about this song, that message, that story, they launder it into an amazingly catchy fucking earworm of a song. Like with the best chorus on the whole album. Also
going to the relative major.
Major into minor.
Exactly. Another. When the chorus drops, it goes from that heavily established A minor to the big payoff, which is another Radiohead thing. Radiohead does this a lot, right? Yeah. Where they will have a song and spend, you know, the intro and the first verses and spend a bunch of their time, like if it's in like the Dorian mode or something like that. But they will hold back, dropping onto the chord that really establishes it and nails that like harmonic signature of it being in that mode, right? Until the first downbeat of the chorus, and then it's this big payoff.
And yet
this song does that.
You're also starting with the flavor of the chorus.
Right.
Like, here it is. We're going to pound you in your brain with it. And you're thinking about it the entire time they're talking about it. Then they come right back to it and just keep pounding it in your head. That is the brainworm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I totally forgot about that. They sing that portion without any instrumentation, without any accompaniment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then comes the drum fill that is like 10 beats long or something, right? Like it's not 8, it's not 12. Is it like every drummer that I've ever seen perform this song has to change the drum fill, even if not for themselves. Even the guys who are super drum nerds. Shout out to Joey Muraoka, drummer of Ryan Basilio and the Roosters, who actually did learn how to play this intro drum fill correctly, the real way. But none of the rest of the band could feel the drum fill to come in on beat like 11 or whatever it is.
Wow.
Right? So every drummer has to play like a bastardized version that's 8 beats long so that the rest of his band can actually come in at the right moment.
Said it was. Got to get to
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Everybody, don't even count until we get to said it was.
Yeah, exactly. We played this song in the Roosters for years, and when the drum fill happens, I just turn off my brain and you just listen for the singer to go, said it was. and that's your cue. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bearing the lead, it's the best song on the record, like hands down. You know, there's a lot of contenders, but
the only thing that comes close for me is Jah Glory.
Jah Glory, I agree. Oh. Yeah. The rest of it is just great music, but the ones that'll really be stuck in your head, I think, forever after listening to this are those two for sure. But especially this one. Like I would say more than Jah Glory.
Yeah, no, you're right. Jah Glory is sort of just like how, also, like how you love one of the album tracks from Dark Side of the Moon. You know, like Breathe. Yeah. Okay. Hey, that's a great song, but that's not the one that's stuck in your head. You know, it's money and time, and you know those are the ones that are stuck with you.
Here's my fat guy relation, because I always have to. It's the creme brulee.
It is the creme brulee.
Okay. You're like, man, I like that shrimp cocktail was really good. I really that porterhouse was just perfectly cooked. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, we even got like fried calamari as an appetizer. Man, that was so freaking good. The ranch was homemade. Amazing. And then you grilled asparagus to go on the side and a baked potato with sour cream and chives. But creme brulee.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
creme brulee though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Also, so like we talked all about this Morant Bay Rebellion as like being the crux of what the song's about. But like the chorus is 96 degrees in the shade, which is just another like, it's a beautiful way to describe something without having to explicitly say it, right? Like it's so fucking hot. It's so fucking hot and miserable that it's fucking miserable in the shade, right? It's like there is no escaping how miserable this is.
The shade is not a respite.
The shade, there is no respite. Yeah. You are miserable in the shade. Like, and it's like just that idea is able to like convey the entirety of like the feeling and is able to evoke the feeling of the conditions of that were present, that gave rise to that rebellion, right? And it's fucking brilliant. Like it's brilliant. Like I love that.
And if you've felt that in your life,
you know what that feels like.
You go right to it.
Yeah.
The sensory. I mean, they teach us about that in school, right? Like when they're teaching you about the basic principles of poetry and things, like use illusions, use similes, and use sensory things like that. Use tactile things because it transports the listener.
I've been in Mississippi and I've been in Louisiana in the summer in the 90% humidity, like before it rained at night, and
it still sucks
at night. And like, you're just like, I need to get somewhere. I need to get away from this. And there is no getting away from.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah. And now transpose that feeling politically.
Exactly.
It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah. And this is a testament to a good example of good songwriters as these guys in this band are, because I heard a story that the origin of this song began as a lot of songs do, which is as a jam in the studio or in the rehearsal space or whatever. And the origin of that lyric of how hot it is was just somebody singing about how hot it was in the studio.
Wow.
90 to 6 degrees in the shade. And that predates their idea of having this song be about Paul Bogle and the Morant Bay Rebellion. But that's good songwriting where
that's perfect.
They can find the poetry in this phrase that has already descended upon them from the creative gods.
Yes.
Right? That like, and this is good for you songwriters out there who are listening, where like it may seem like, okay, I'm going to sit down and meditate on this political situation that I want to write about, and I'm going to come up with the perfect analogy right now. Sometimes it doesn't go like that.
No.
Sometimes it comes to you in an oblique way.
Yeah, this is the peanut butter for the chocolate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so then the question is, can you find that poetry in these other things that come to you from other sources? Can you find the way that this heat relates to this place in history?
It's allowing yourself to make subconscious connections, or not even allowing yourself. You are always making subconscious connections. Yeah. Do you have the ability to allow them to come to the surface, right? And to be able to see those connections that are in you, and that you're always making as a human being. Every human being does it. We all see these things and we feel them, and we know inherently with our intuition that like this isn't right, and do you have the ability to be touched by God and be able to put it into a song.
Exactly.
But yeah.
And then that being said, maybe that story is not even true, but
maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Either way.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Here's another, actually just a tangent before you that is, I was writing this song and all the pieces of the song were about a few people that I'd been dealing with in life that were pissing me off. And I'm like,
me and Nate.
Totally. No. No, it was about like I was dealing with malignant narcissists.
Okay.
So Brandon.
So just me.
All right, continue.
And you'll probably recognize this, especially Brandon will recognize, and it's plain that you should understand why he should be in charge. He was born and raised on privilege and pride. And it seems it's only natural his ego is so damn large because it fills the hole his soul should occupy. He's the most important person in the world.
I know this song.
I love this song.
Like you're all just extras in the movie of his life. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, well, that's who this is about now.
Wow. Okay. See,
Wow.
Okay, I did not. I never heard you tell the story of the origin of that song, "Most Important Person in the World," but
Great song.
here it is. This exact example of what we were talking about, right?
Yes.
See, when I hear your song, I just assumed, okay, I'm going to sit down and write a song about Donald Trump right now, and I'm going to come up with the perfect analogy now. But no, it came obliquely. It came from these words coming related to a different person or different people, but you found the poetry. You found the connections in life.
Final thoughts on Reggae Summer.
And or on this album too.
Yeah. Well, this album I think was such a perfect way for so many reasons to go last. I'm really glad this one ended up.
I picked this. Yeah. When I knew that I had the final choice,
Yeah.
I knew like it has to be this one.
Yeah, because I feel like this album simultaneously pulling from the future, right? Pulling from 80s, 90s, today, right? It's like directly like stealing from stuff that we're doing now, right? It's also looking...
Being influenced by music that hasn't been recorded yet.
Yeah. No, it's just very forward.
Yeah.
It's very progressive music, right? It's super progressive music. But simultaneously, it offers such like a cogent, pertinent, relevant history lesson, right? That is so relevant to like fucking everything we're going through right now. We're still in the middle of this fucking fight that this album's about, right? We're still in the fucking middle of it. We didn't hang enough fucking Confederates, and now we're in this fucking situation. That's literally what happened. That's why we're in the situation we're in, right? And it's about this
shit. The situation is as simple as that.
As that, yes.
Problem solved.
It's I don't know. It's perfect. I think musically, it draws on. It brings us full circle from Exodus, right? And yet it feels kind of more, kind of homespun and more Jamaican than that record really does in a lot of ways. That record is so Bob Marley.
Yeah.
This is much more Jamaican at its core.
Right. Yeah. Exodus is a internationally leaning work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know, kudos for picking this one. I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. I know I'm going to listen to it constantly going forward in future. And it was a great one to have John on for because
yes, thank you for being here, John.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I will plagiarize my wife's thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it.
On my music. And I will say it about this music because this is one of the biggest influences for me, of records that I own. I mean, I've told you that, like, hey, I was 6 years old. But my wife always says people always go for the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Right? So other reggae versions or other music is chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. And that's great. It's fantastic. And it's good for a reason. But this is the coffee with Heath Bar Crunch. Again, more fat guy analogies.
A reminder, I want to come get dinner with you guys sometime because you guys you guys have all the right desserts picked out, pre-picked out. That's awesome. Brandon, how about you? Any final thoughts on 96 Degrees in the Shade, Reggae Summer?
Yeah, so just a final thought on this album in particular is to take a look at the album artwork, at the cover, right? This lovely painting that you have here of this guy wearing this hat, doing some pottery, making some clay pottery here on a little spinning wheel. So this is really interesting because this artwork is by an artist named Tony Wright. He's an English dude, or I think he's English. He's definitely British. But this is the same guy who, he is responsible for some paintings that are very, very prominent and that you will know. One of which is the cover of Bob Marley, Natty Dread.
Oh,
that painting of Bob Marley.
Yeah.
He painted War in a Babylon, the woman holding her face
Yeah.
in her hands.
It's a great album cover.
He painted the cover of Super Ape.
Shut up.
Wow.
He painted the cover of Police and Thieves with those characters taking the dollar bills out of each other's pockets.
I totally see that one shared similarities with this.
And it goes on because he wasn't limited only to Jamaican artists who he designed album covers for. He did the cover for Sissy Strut by the Meters.
Wow.
He designed the cover of this one's for you, Nate. The Bob Dylan album Saved.
Fuck off.
With the finger that's reaching down and touching the other finger.
Yeah.
That's Tony Wright. It's the same guy.
So you're saying the guy is okay, I guess.
Yeah. He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Wow.
He's all right. But this cover is this painting is a part of a series that he did specifically for Third World.
Yeah.
So they go in sequence and they tell a story. So the first one, so if you look at the cover of Third World's first album, the one before this is called Third World. There's a woman who's riding on a donkey with a couple children. And then the second album is this one. There's the man making the pottery. Then you look at the cover of the single of Now That We've Found Love, and it's these same two, this man and woman character, like cuddling together with the children.
Oh.
Then the cover of the album after this, Journey to Addis, is the man and the woman and the two children in a boat on the sea, on the ocean. It's the exact same characters. They're wearing the same hats and everything. And then the cover of the album after that, which is The Story's Been Told, which is the painting is of, you can see in the corner, the boat arriving on the land, on the destination, and the children are getting off of the boat and they're joining this party where the members of Third World are there, and there's a bunch of people dancing and celebrating and living in Zion, in the Promised Land. And it's just this so 96 degrees in the shade, this artwork is like in the midst of this journey out of Babylon to Zion.
Wow.
And so,
I love episodic stuff, and I love stuff that relates to the next thing and the next thing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me because it's just been right there, right under my nose all the years that I've loved this album. And so I guess that then I'm realizing now will be my final thought to cap off Reggae Summer, which is that if it wasn't for us doing these episodes and prompting me to research these things and look into not only these albums, but Jamaican music, the Jamaican musicians, all the producers and everyone else involved in the making of these, and Jamaica itself. I've learned so much out of doing this.
Me too. Oh my God.
I've learned so much. I have such a bigger and more complete perspective on all of this now than I did before. And before we did this, I considered myself to be an expert on this shit. But I know I've learned so much. Is what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've I've been so overdue on this deep dive kind of education, which I think I will be in the middle of for the rest of my life, to be honest. But yeah, it's weird, calling yourself a reggae musician and not being like fully informed by a lot of this stuff because it's so fucking intrinsic to the music. And yeah, it was a long time coming for me to really like get back into all this stuff that underpins reggae and its philosophies and everything that makes the music tick the way that it does. Really rewarding, super fucking rewarding.
Yes.
Summer. I can't believe it was
every
over.
second of it. And final thought about that is that out of all of that, is still have only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
What we have talked about on these episodes is still just 1% of the whole story.
Well, we're gonna do it again next summer. We're gonna keep doing it. We're calling it Reggae Summer, not because next summer is gonna be new metal summer. It's because we're gonna
First
do
annual.
Yeah, we're gonna do Reggae Summer next summer.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
All right. I
think you two have forced me to brush up, you bastards.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Why not? Why not?
Now, is there anything else specific that you want to plug here, John?
So yeah, I'm going to be doing live dubs at the Escape Hatch merchandise table in the merchandise tent at Supernova in Fort Monroe, Virginia, September 12th through 14th. I'll be there with my wife all 3 days, and I'm bringing from San Diego a dub headphone sound system. I'm going to bring a 65-inch TV on a stand. I'm going to figure out how to get power too. And we're bringing 6 sets of headphones and a 6-channel headphone amplifier, plus my own personal headphones and a digital dub rig controller and my entire library of Smoke and Mirrors music with videos synced in real time. And I will perform along with Mr. Brian Wallace, as in Mr. Dub Robot himself.
Wow.
The two of us will be performing live dub mixes for 6 people at a time with headphones, watching the live videos in real time at our merchandise table.
Wow.
For free. If you make it into the festival, you can check out a song after a song with a video in a live dub, one time only for each one. Each one is its own custom individual performance for 6 people at a time.
Wow. Dude, that's
gonna
like
be
a
so
cooler
sick.
show than like anything that's happening on the main stage. I'm like way more into that.
Last year we did with just, 2 sets of headphones, one for the person dubbing, which would be either me or Brian, and one for the person who would want to take a listen.
Mm.
And every time we would do one song for one person, and they'd be like, do it again, do another one, do another one. And everyone we did it for over the course of that weekend, for as long as the batteries lasted, everybody without fail bought a record. Because they're like,
yeah.
what is this song off of? I'm like, the song is off of this record right here. And you can
totally.
So
that's so cool, man.
We've kind of talked about this a little bit during our scientist discussion, but it's like, I'm telling you people, you don't understand how rare and lucky you have to be, how rare it is and how lucky you have to be to actually be able to witness live dub in front of you. It is such a rare occurrence. Not a lot of people do it live, especially, and John does it, and he's fucking amazing at it. So you heard it from him. Supernova, what are the dates one more time?
September 12th through 14th.
Supernova, and where that's in, you said it's in Colorado, right?
No, we're not
Virginia.
I mean, you could fly to Colorado, but
What
we
am I
wouldn't
talking about?
Fort Monroe, Virginia.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like it's like the biggest ska festival like in the country, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
one of the
huge.
bigger ones in the world. Yeah.
Who else is playing there? Who are some of the headliners?
Oh, I can't remember everybody. I'm going to be having my table next door to Alpheus.
Nice.
Everybody has played there. Everybody who is anybody has played that, except for me. No. Check them out. I'm sure you're looking it up now.
Yeah, I'm Googling. in the Googles.
We're hoping, that being said, and with what we're already talking about today, we're hoping that a regime is not keeping people from getting their visas to come to this country to play these shows.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of folks from other countries that are hoping to play that are on the bill. And I'm not sure as of right now, as of us taping this, we'll say, I'm not sure how many of those folks are going to make it, but there's a ton of folks on the bill.
Wow.
And there's going to be at least 10 acts per day over the course of 3 days. And we'll have after parties and pre-parties playing to. I'm going to be involved with 100 decibels. The guy, Soon Come Sound, he makes reverb tanks.
Oh, cool.
Out of Philly. He and I are we've come into to be volunteers for the Skoducation tent.
Hell yeah.
So that we can show people. I bought all the parts to make 5 dub tanks.
Cool.
And Dan is going to 100 decibels. He's going to build 5 dub tanks, which we will auction off kind of.
Wow.
Or have a raffle for.
That's so neat.
So we'll show you how to make them. You might be able to make them yourself. And then we'll be giving them away to specific people.
Wow.
Which I'm sure I would put myself in the running if I wasn't the person being a sponsor for it. I already bought one of their tanks.
That's so
one
sick.
of Dan's tanks.
That's amazing.
So yeah, if you want to go to this festival, I'm just going to list some of the bands that are playing.
And there's two stages that go back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's wild.
Everybody's here. The Slow Jerkin.
Gherkin, but sure.
Was it Gherkin?
Gherkin as in but slow jerkin.
I always thought it was Slow Jerkin, like a play on fucking, all right. Slow Gherkin. Shows you how much I was into third wave. Voodoo Glow Skulls, Alpheus, Eastern Standard Time, Less Than Jake, Flatliners, Mustard Plug, Pie Tasters, Catch 22. Dude, freaking everybody.
Tons of bands.
Toasters. Chris Murray's playing.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Love Chris Murray.
It's basically a lot of people. A whole lot of people.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Go to YouTube since you're already here watching this, but check out Smoke and Mirrors sound system.
Yes.
So far, I mean, I've got over 60 and we're getting on 70 videos, and it's all animated. It's like an animation festival.
Yeah.
You can just turn it on and, pick your favorite substance if you want to.
Yeah.
Or eat a few gallons of ice cream if you want to. But you can play the music and not watch the videos, but the video experience
is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much into all kinds of animation, be it 2D, 3D, claymation, AI. It's just all of these things come together. This is the stuff that I grew up on, that I loved. I always loved Peter Gabriel doing Sledgehammer, like that kind of animation, or Frank Zappa animation, or I watched Night Flight as a kid.
This explains so much, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Japanimation, anime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just all of it put together to go with these videos. It just will enhance your experience. So check out Smoke and Mirrors sound system.
We'll link to all this stuff in the description as well. So make sure you check the description of this video, and we'll link to all of John's frankly amazing projects. John is like an insanely creative person, and I look up to you and your ability to create as judiciously as you're able to. It's very inspiring.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. I think with that, I think we should sign off. But before we do, need to remind you all that we are also a band. John is in our band. John is an honorary member of Black Market Dub. And I don't even know if we could say honorary. You like write songs with us and write parts. You're like totally a huge part of our band. So we're a band, Black Market Dub. You can find all of our music digitally at blackmarketdub.bandcamp.com. Some stuff on Spotify and wherever else you get your music. If you want the vinyl to our music, you've got to go to John's website, escapepatchrecords.com. That is John's record label that we are so proud to be a part of. John issues so much of our music on vinyl, and it's amazing partnership we have with him. And you can get all of our great stuff over there at escapepatchrecords.com.
Way
way
more
fucking
great
more
music in addition to ours.
All of John's records by his band Smoke and Mirrors Sound System. In addition to, what just came out? The Bracers EP just came out. What are some?
Players Band is coming out. The Dubzilla from Players Band is coming out.
Hell yeah.
By Supernova.
Hell yeah.
I just got them in hand yesterday.
Yes. We'll link to all this stuff in the description as well. So make sure you check the description of this video, and we'll link to all of John's frankly amazing projects. John is like an insanely creative person, and I look up to you and your ability to create as judiciously as you're able to. It's very inspiring.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. And I think with that, did I miss anything, Brandon? Oh yeah, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/blackmarketdub. You can get bonus episodes, blog, behind the scenes stuff if you want to kind of be filled in on where we're at with our next album, which we have to talk to John about some more because he's going to help us put it out. And it's getting complicated, frankly.
It'll happen.
It'll happen, yes. But yeah, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/blackmarketdub. Tons of fun stuff over there. And with that, Brandon.
Yes.
Do you have anything good to send us off into our non-reggae world that we're entering into?
Yeah. So as we go back and listen to non-Rasta music, just remember, I see Jah Glory in the morning sun. I see Jah Glory when the day is done. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.